is proud to host the Bonita Springs Charter School students for Government Day today. Today they will shadow staff members, they will get to participate in a mock city council meeting, as well as interact with our counselors and our mayor.
I'm glad to see you all here. How many of you people want to be president of the United States? Hey, I love that. I love it. It's a possibility. Thank you.
Well, good morning, guys. We're happy you're here again. It's been a little bit with changes in our whole world, but we're glad that you're here again with us. And this is a program we're very excited about to have y'all here. So, good morning. Good morning. Can I hear a little louder? Because you're getting pizza today, so you got to work for it. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so you are part of the annual tradition of Bonita Springs Charter Schools Civics Day here with us, and we've been doing this for quite a long time, since I've been with the city, which was in 2005. I'm going to give you a little background about myself. I am the city manager currently, but I've held the role of special events and park coordinator, director of development services. I was then promoted to assistant city manager and city manager. I started here. I went to high school in Fort Myers and went to Florida State University. And then I stayed in Tallahassee. I received my master's degree in urban and regional planning and came back home to Bonita Springs. My family's all here, and my twins are in Miss Leeper's first grade, Austin and Lily. So I know many of you have mentored kids in the kindergarten and first grade as you move up to your middle school. So I've had the opportunity to do many different roles here and grow with the city. And so with that, I'm going to take the opportunity to introduce you've met our mayor, Rick Steinmeier. He has a 4-year term. And then with us is District 1, Amy Carumba. And then we have Laura Carr, District 3. And so I'm going to allow each of them, I know you've had the mayor say a few words, each of them say a few words to you about their interest in civics and how they became part of our city council.
Good morning, everyone. I'd just like to share my story a little bit, because maybe some of you have a similar one. First of all, I'm a first-generation American. My parents were Italian immigrants, and I lived in a home where English was a second language. And what I think is wonderful is that I think I'm an example of what happens in America when you work hard and try to achieve your dreams. So don't forget your dreams, just keep working at it and be persistent, because that's the most important part of it. My parents encouraged us to embrace all the things that we had here in America. I was introduced early to the government in our local city, because my mother was not afraid to go and speak out for us when we needed help. Their job was to go to work and help to put food on and a roof over our heads, and our job as children was to go to school, and that's what we did. I was fortunate to be in a very good public school. I graduated. I went to college. I eventually got a master's degree and a PhD. So I took the academic route, but there are many, many, many paths that everybody can take. And in case you want to know some of my work, I started working in a cryptographic agency of the federal government. I suggest you look that up when you get back, because it's actually a spy agency. So I have some interesting stories. After that, I went to work in what's called a think tank, so you can do a little research on that. And then eventually I ended up teaching in college and had my children and retired, and then went back to work and ended up having an investment advisory business. And then I retired and was able to come down here and live in a pretty nice place. I don't know if you know where Pelican Landing is, but we love looking at the water and things like that. But that's what happens if you work, 20 years, you can do something with it. But anyway, here I am, and one day I woke up and said, God, I'm a little bored. I think I should do something. So I decided to run for the council. And I'm here, and I'm very fortunate to live in this incredible city with a wonderful manager, and to just making it better every single day. I'm so glad to see you here. Keep working, and I want to see you up here if I am fortunate enough to live another 10 years or so, and helping us to make this city great.
Okay, so hi, I'm Laura Carr, I grew up in the Northeast in Oradell, New Jersey, a little tiny town, but it was only 20 minutes from Manhattan, so that was pretty cool. My classmates actually found it very ironic that I ended up also doing an academic route and taught at Rutgers College because I was one of the ones late for class. But I am so grateful for one friend who would always go, "Ni hao ma," and that's Chinese for "how are you?" And when the professor was mad at me for being late, well, actually it was the teacher, it was high school, he's like, "What's Chinese for how are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, Sam, ni hao ma." But you do have to show up. And I went off to the University of Colorado Boulder. It's far. If you go to school, I'd stay close to home. I remember crying at Thanksgiving, and my mom's like, "All right, I'll fly you home." And I then went off to Boston to do my PhD at Boston College. Never been colder in my life. So also think about that when you pick a school. And then while writing my dissertation, I went to Rutgers University to teach. And it was exciting and fun. And I mean, the only thing is, like, you guys never age. And I kept aging. Even though I was only like 25 when I started, it was still depressing 2 years later because they still look like you, you know? And I'm like, "Oh, I've got wrinkles." Ah. So I then met someone, moved into Manhattan, and went to teach at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and I loved that. Very, very different population from Rutgers. But it was fun being, you know, down in Manhattan, and sometimes I'd walk home because I lived on the Upper West Side, and sometimes I took the subway. When it was really hot, no matter what, I walked home because just people get crazy in closed spaces when it's hot. So you start learning things. I was a sociologist. Amy, economics. Very practical. Because I swear, I actually had 2 degrees, sociology and psychology. And like, what are you going to do with that? I have no idea. What do I do? Go to graduate school. Okay. So off I went. But with the real, and then I went into publishing and did a bunch of different things, and then became a mom. But find passion and find what you really like to do. So my son went off to a school in D.C., and they did internships, which is really cool, because he found out what he definitely did not want to do. And so, you know, but he got credit, and we paid for him to work for someone else. But, you know, we paid GW. But find passion and go with it, and check it out. I mean, you might want to be in front of the scenes or behind the scenes, you know? And then when you get into what you find passion, really get into it, like dig down, you know, find out what's going on. Don't be lazy. Don't sort of think it's going to be spoon-fed to you. If you want to get ahead, work hard. And then you'll be able to move back here. Because the prices are so expensive. But anyway.
That was great. Thank you. Well, now what we're going to do is each of our department directors are going to do a brief introduction. They're going to give you a little of their educational background and the role they play here in the city as well. So, Lord.
Okay. Good morning. So I have a question for you. How many of you know what you want to do when you grow up? Could you tell me what it is?
International businesses.
Wow.
Either architecture or pediatric dentistry.
Okay. Not yet? Yes? No? Okay.
I want to be an anesthesiologist.
Wow. Can you kind of just shout a little?
Interior design.
Very nice.
A criminal justice lawyer.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
Photography.
Okay.
Work on Wall Street.
Wow. Okay, and we have one more, right?
I want to own my own reptile facility.
Very nice. You know, those iguanas, like they run out in front of you when you're driving, and it's like they're not very fast. You have to be very careful. I almost hit one. Okay, so the reason I did that is when I was in 7th grade, I was really into photography and videos. I like to do videos, and we had a huge camcorder at the time. It was like, have you seen the old school camcorders? They're huge. It's like, you know, I don't even know, a huge boombox at this point. So anyway, in 7th grade, my parents got one, so I used to go around and film people all the time. And my 7th grade teacher noticed, and he walked me to the high school. We were very close. Our buildings were very close. That's why I got a bit of a cold. So anyway, we walked over to the building, and he introduced me to the radio and TV teacher in 9th grade. So you could do radio and TV from 9th grade until 12th grade. And I loved that class. It was so fun. We got to do morning announcements. Do you guys have those? Do you get to be on TV for them or just on the microphone? Okay. So we could do little shows and skits with our friends who were in the class, and we got to be broadcast to all of the students. And then by my senior year, I was able to work and get paid to do something called Inside Out, and it was a TV show where we could kind of go about the community and to highlight things that were going on in the community that were good. So that's where it started for me in 7th grade. From there, I went to college at FGCU, and I interned in a variety of different places. Laura's advice is very good to go ahead and intern in so many different positions. Like anything that you think you might want to try, ask for internships. People love to have students come in and work. It helps the organization. It helps you learn. But after FGCU, I ended up working at FGCU briefly in the Community Relations Office, where I interned. And then I got a job with the National Basketball Association, the NBA. Does anybody here like basketball?
Yeah,
Okay. Now, it was only the D League, but the NBA ran it here locally. And they, you know, they trained us. They took us to South Carolina. They even tried to get me into sales. It wasn't my thing. So I found my way to the Parks Department. And at first, I mean, I helped work the front desk. I helped clean down the equipment. I helped take the trash out. We got to plan skate park events. I had never done a skate park event in my entire life. Does anybody like skating? Okay. So I had no idea about it. But I'm like, okay, this is cool. The little kids, they taught me everything. We had a good time. We got to film them. They got to do all these videos. It was really exciting. So from there, I was promoted to City Hall for community relations at the time because they had seen some of the work that I had done at the Parks Department. And I wrote articles in the local paper just about things that were happening at the parks, you know, things that people could do. I was so excited to get my first article published. It was like the coolest thing ever. I had it on my fridge at the time. So anyway, from there, I got to do you know, smaller events. I got to shadow Arlene when she was the event coordinator at the time, and she taught me quite a bit about the events. Eventually, she got promoted, and I got to take over the events and have you guys been to 4th of July in the park? Holiday in the Park? So that's us. We work with some volunteers in our community, our counselors and our staff, and we plan those events. And then from there, it's just, you know, you stick it out and you work hard. I'm the communications director now. And our department oversees the special events, IT. Addison's in the back and Carissa's in the back. Carissa is now taking over the events, so you'll see a lot of her at those events. And Addison does our information technology here for the city. And then we also do Bonita Television. Antonio was running around here with a camera earlier, so you'll see him. We're going to actually have you record a public service announcement for us in a little bit. Super exciting. So I guess I don't want to take too much time, but the reason I walked you through that is I really wanted you to see that it starts now. Explore what you like. You know, take Laura's advice and Amy's advice. You know, don't go after what you want. Let people guide you into trying new things for businesses, and just keep going and work hard, and you can get anywhere you want to go. All right. So Nicole, you ready?
Thank you, Laura. I am Nicole Perino. I'm the Parks and Recreation Director here for the city. I began working with the city in 2008 so quite a while ago, 14 years now. But what most people like to say, Parks and Recs is the fun department, because we do all the fun stuff. Have any of you all been to, play sports in the park or come to the rec center? All of those fun things, those are the things that we do. Does anyone know how many parks we have in the city? 23 now. So the city of Bonita Springs has 23 parks for you to go out and enjoy, hike a trail. We have something for everyone. We do have a nature place. Someone was interested in reptiles and things like that. We do have a nature place where you see gopher tortoises. We have all kinds of different things out there. But I grew up in southern Ohio, and it was way too cold for me, so I did move down to Southwest Florida. And actually, my degree is in biological sciences and exercise physiology. So I do have a dual role. The biological sciences part helps me a little more in my job than the exercise physiology, but I actually did begin my 21-year career in a Parks and Rec facility in Ohio as a fitness director. And then I just worked my way up, came down here to the city, ran the recreation center, and was then promoted to recreation manager, and then now recreation director, Parks and Recreation director. So you can, like everyone has said, just work hard. You can do whatever you put your mind to and what makes you happy. I love the park system, love what I do, and the city's a great place to work. So if any of you have any thoughts of going into any type of government, it is a great job to have. So on to Carly.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carly. I'm the staff attorney here at City Hall. My story, I grew up on a farm in the country of East Tennessee. I went off to college in Pittsburgh. I also took the academic route. I went to Pittsburgh. I thought I was going to be a sports medicine doctor or an athletic trainer. Sophomore year, I decided enough of that science, so I switched. I actually got a sociology psychology degree, also didn't know what to do with it, ended up going to law school in Miami because I didn't like the snow. And then internships. Everyone keeps mentioning internships. I think it's a really great opportunity to find out what you like and definitely what you don't like without wasting too much time. I got an internship in law school in Miami with the city of Hialeah, and that ultimately led me to this job in this coast after graduation, and it worked out. So my advice would be to keep an open mind and be honest with yourself about what you are enjoying in school and in work.
Morning, everyone. My name's Tony Backhurst. I am the Neighborhood Services Director, and that is code enforcement, and we have oversight of emergency management. Mine wasn't necessarily an academic route earlier on, but it changed as I got older. I grew up in London, England, and when I left school, our system over there is very different. It was 4 to 16 was the 12 years. And I left just before my 16th birthday, and I played professional soccer for a few years. And as I'd like to tell everyone, I was so good I ended up going into the military. So, so I did some time in the military, and then I moved to Canada and became a police officer. And at that point, that was where I started doing my academic stuff. And I became an intelligence officer within that, and I worked on some national security stuff. So it's interesting that Amy has also worked in that. I was lucky enough to move to the US 12 years ago. I am a proud American citizen, and I have a son who is in grade 7 in charter school in Cape Coral. And I'm somewhat of a hypocrite because even though my route was not academic and I left to play soccer, my son is straight A student, and I'm planning everything out for him on an academic route. So it might be a bit of an easier go for him to do that than to take the route that I did, which was a lot of years not really wanting to know. When I was at your age, I had one idea in my head, which was to be a soccer player. And that was all I ever wanted to do, and that's all my dad ever wanted me to do. And I realized afterwards, when you're playing catch-up in your mid-20s on education, that everyone's got 10 years before you, that's kind of a tougher way to go. So this is, I can tell you, the best place in the world to live. I've lived in 3 countries. My mum, who's been locked down in UK for the last 2 years, is coming on Sunday, and she is so excited finally to come over here. And she would do anything she could to live here. This is a beautiful country, and this is a beautiful part of a beautiful country. So keep doing what you're doing.
How we doing, guys? I promise I'm the last, so I won't take too much of your time. My name is Sean Gibbons. I'm actually one of the Community Development Department employees, where we do planning, zoning, environmental, building, and development of the city. So what does that mean? Well, basically, we take master plans, site development plans, future growth plans for the city, and kind of help the city to grow, mature, and develop. So if you think of Bonita Springs and how it's kind of grown over the years, we're sort of like kind of going into our 20s now, where we kind of have some things figured out, but we're still sort of growing and getting bigger and changing. And basically, it's my department and my team's job to make sure the direction we go is either that academic route or that practical route, really what we want to be when we grow up. So we're kind of in college right now ourselves. A little bit about me and my background. Similar to Miss Arlene and Mayor Rick, I'm a local guy. So I grew up down here. I was born and raised in Estero, Bonita Springs. Went to Estero High School. So if you guys are thinking about going there, I recommend it. Bonita Springs wasn't an option then, so unfortunately I'm an Estero kid. Went to Florida Gulf Coast University, where I got my undergraduate and graduate degrees in public administration and political science. I'm also a faculty member there, so hopefully I'll see some of you guys in a few years where I can teach a little bit more about state and local government or American national government international relations theories. Those are kind of my passion, so I'm both an academic and a practitioner. I enjoy it. It's a happy kind of medium of the things we do around here. Really my message for you guys would be public service and how important that is and the value that brings. So just looking at from my department, we provide services on the day-to-day basis that help the city to function, to run, to keep you guys safe, to keep your parents safe, to keep everybody safe. The whole team does that. The idea is a better quality of life, something we all can enjoy and take part in. And a lot of you have mentioned you kind of looking at public service or civic-oriented positions or jobs that are going to better the community. That's huge. There's amazing value in that, and that's a very bright future. Similar to everybody else, I would suggest you guys take time to figure out what you want to do. There's no rush. There's no requirement. Understand yourself first. Understand where you're happy. Understand where you can use your talents and skills to bring value. And I think most of you are on a pretty good path. The fact that you're here, the fact that you're doing well, the fact that you're invested and interested is a tremendous thing. So I could not encourage you guys to do that enough. And again, us as staff, the city administration, your teachers, guidance counselors, mentors, take advantage of those opportunities. Learn as much as you can, and don't be afraid to change your mind. You're not stuck in a specific path. Just grow. Grow and enjoy the experience.
Hi, I'm Kevin Berkowitz, civics teacher from Bonita Springs Charter School. We were invited here today at Bonita Springs City Hall for our annual Civics Government Day field trip. Our 7th grade civics students get a chance to really see government in action, where we bring the classroom content or the textbook material, bring it to life for them, really show them how our local government works. They get a better sense of pride and dedication to our community, and hopefully inspire some of them to get more involved as well. The chance to come to City Hall is a great opportunity for the kids to get an idea of what happens down here at City Hall. We partake in a mock city council session where they get to sit in the seats of the council members and the mayor. They get to act out different sort of pieces of legislation or ideas for the city. They get to come up to the microphone and give public comment. It's just an amazing mock opportunity for them to understand how our local government works. Bonita Springs Charter School is so happy that we're invited here every year. We just want to say thank you to the City Hall of Bonita Springs and to all the staff that have taken time to show their hospitality.
Meeting's called to order. Luca, would you like to lead the Pledge of Allegiance?
I read it?
Read it so you understand it, because that's what we're going to discuss.
Oh, okay.
Sure, I'll do it. Yeah.
Roll call.
Say your name and present.
Braden, present.
Luca, present. Alexander, present.
Jonathan, present.
Blake, present.
Joseph, present.
Callie, present.
Kylie, present.
Eve, present.
Public comment, please.
Hello, my name is Riley Brever, and I live on 1572 whatever lane. I believe that this would be a good thing to have because the parks are really important to the people of Bonita Springs, and having playground equipment would keep kids busy and out of trouble, and it would also just bring more people to the parks.
Thank you. Yes.
Do we know how the wider community feels about water fountains and playground equipment in the park?
Staff.
Do you want to make a motion to give direction?
We have no information from the water community.
And make a motion? No? You going to make a motion?
Do I hear a motion?
Oh, we got it already. Here.
I make a motion to approve moving forward with the installation.
I second.
Roll call.
Yea or nay?
Hmm?
Yea or nay?
Yay.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Nay.
Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Majority.
Motion carries.
Yay, good job. Well done.
Fun out and
A lot of questions.
The city chooses to host government days in order to have one-on-one interactions with our local students and to encourage them to reach for the stars and learn as much as they can about any field that they'd like to go into. We plan to do this type of government day event with 2 other schools locally, but we're always hoping to have more students attend, and it's a great day for everyone.